What is going on, guys? Excited to be tackling the FAQs. Sorry I wasn't able to get to these last weekend. It's probably the sickest I've been in a long time with whatever flu is going around. So I was pretty laid out. Friday afternoon, I had a couple work meetings, and I just looked at my computer screen and just rolled back over on the couch and slept. So excited to dive in and tackle these today. I'm just going to talk to the camera while I ride my bike and try to sneak a little workout in. And okay, so first question. Want to learn about sleep optimization and best habits to start and end my day with. I love this question. I think it's probably one of the most important topics we can tackle. How we start the day really sets the rest of the day up for success, and how we end the day sets tomorrow up for success. So, key people I would reference in this, number one's probably going to be Andrew Huberman. I really like his protocols around light and actually getting light into your eyes, as well as how you turn down lights at the end of the day, turn down your circadian rhythm, get the melatonin released, and get your body ready to shut down. So starting with light in the morning, getting sunlight in your eyes as soon as possible. And that doesn't mean looking through a window. It actually means getting outside and getting direct exposure to UV rays. Even if it is a cloudy day, you can still get exposure to these rays. You just need to spend a little bit more time outside. So you notice that any day that we don't have a finisher, that an option is 20 minutes of walking outdoors. That is very intentional. That is for a reason. That is because I want people to get more light exposure and more of that, especially early in the day. He also recommends later in the day, as the sun is starting to go down, to also get some light exposure. Same effect. Your body looking at the horizon and seeing that sun is going down is going to signal everything to start slowing down and say, hey, it's time to get ready for the evening. In terms of food, I know everyone has kind of different morning routines. I'm okay with a lot more actual flexibility around food in the morning, especially depending on your goals. If you're someone who is looking to build muscle, trying to spend as much of the day anabolic as possible. So getting calories in earlier is probably good and probably necessary, especially if you're trying to eat in a surplus. If you're trying to lose weight, I'm also okay with you kind of staying fasted longer. There also can be advantages to staying fasted longer, especially through your first training session if you train in the morning, in terms of just optimizing growth hormone release. What else can we tackle with this? My morning habits, honestly, ideally, I wake up, I either hop on the bike and do some light stretching just to get blood flowing. The sun's not out yet. And if the sun's already out, I might just go straight out for a walk first thing to start my day. I walk 1 mile. It ends up being about 20 minutes. It's not fast. It's not aggressive. Just me kind of breathing, walking. Sometimes Rosie will be with me, and just getting through the morning. We've talked a lot about the nutritional aspects of starting and ending the day, so I won't touch on those. But some evening things that I really strive to do is 3 hours before bedtime is the shut-off time for food. And I heard the rule recently, 3, 2, 1, which actually I loved and made it super easy. 3 hours before bed, last calorie goes in your mouth. 2 hours before bed, last sip of water, so last water intake. Then 1 hour before bed, last technology exposure. So that way, the 60 minutes before you go to sleep or plan to go to sleep, you're not stimulated, you're not eating, you're not drinking. You're doing everything to set yourself up for a good night's sleep. So give those things a try to get started. I have a ton more, but just feel free to grab me and we can always geek out on these over a coffee. Somebody asked, I'd like to learn more about timing carbs and supplements. I think we dove into that quite a bit this week, and so I hope I tackled those questions. I can get a little bit more specific into amounts of food. I think this is a big area that people struggle with. A lot of people saying, I don't like to eat before a workout. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I am right there with you. I don't like to eat right before a workout. Our bodies, and this varies, but on average can process about 300 calories an hour. That can be carbs, fat, protein, whatever. And that could be plus or minus. It could be 200, it could be 400. If you're bigger, it might be different. But keeping in mind, if you're working backwards from the time you plan to work out, where you want to be fully digested, giving yourself kind of a 300 calorie window, 1 hour, 600 calories 2 hours before, 900 calories 3 hours before. That way, if you're having a bigger meal, it's spaced farther back from before you're about to actually do exercise. So that can be one really key thing with just eating before a workout. Obviously, food selection plays a factor here, but if you're eating a big fatty meal a couple hours even before you work out, it might not be finished digesting yet. I get a question about how do we feel about cheat meals, maybe like a burger or a nice ribeye, which to be fair, I think those are pretty safe on the cheat meal perspective. You can have a ribeye anytime you want, and I'll sit there and eat it with you. So I am a fan and proponent of cheat meals, but I don't like to think of them as cheating. I think of them as refueling or refeed meals where I'm just not worried about carb intake, both from the mental perspective and from actually my body refueling. I'd love to do, if I'm doing a cheat meal or cheat foods, is having them on a day after I've done probably one of my heavier training days. For me, this would typically be like after a Saturday morning, I'd love to go out to breakfast and just crush, a stack of pancakes and slather them up with maple syrup, right? Because I know what my body's going to do with it. And doing that every now and then, even if you didn't do a super intensive workout, is totally fine. I think a lot of people start to get in the habit of rewarding exercise with bad food. And as we're learning in this challenge, you burn most of your calories not in the gym, but just in surviving and in existing in your day to day. And so you can never outwork out a lot of bad nutrition habits because there's simply just not enough activity we can do in the day unless you're like a full-time logger and professional CrossFit athlete. You're probably not burning the calories you need to burn off Wendy's for every meal. With that said, one other thing, and I think this works really with anything that you're trying to limit in your life, something that can be positive and enjoyable, but if it becomes commonplace and regular, it can be a little bit detrimental to your health. I think about the same thing with like TV. You're watching like 4 hours of TV every night, it's probably not that great. But if you're like, it doesn't mean you have to throw out your TV, but be intentional about when and how you're going to watch TV and be like, oh, I'm going to have 2 nights a week where I watch a movie with my family, with my significant other, and we're going to plan those. We're going to pick something out, but it's not mindless, right? You plan the activity, you do it, and then you put it away. Let's see. I think that's it. I think we tackled them for the week, guys. So thank you so much for hanging in there during this challenge. I'm excited to keep it going, keep the questions coming. I like kind of riffing on just additional topics like this. So if you find it helpful and want some more, let me know.